Ladies and gentlemen, it is Wednesday, February 26th, 2014. You're listening to FAWMtalk. I'm Ianuarius. With me, as always, coming to you from the sand-infested United States, the great T.C. Elliott. How you doing, man?
I'm doing fine. Just fine.
Oh,
how are you today?
I'm pretty good. Now that I think of it, I don't think there is a country that isn't sand-infested. It's pretty much a global phenomenon.
Yeah.
But there you go.
You're such a happy guy this morning.
Mm-hmm. Happy. Well, let's go ahead, play some music straight away before we forget. Yeah, coming to you. This is the thing I'm saying today. Coming to you from Matt Black. That's like some sort of internet streaming service. Matt Black. The song he's playing is called Brave.
You built a cage around your heart to keep the parts in check, made from all the wires you found around her hospital bed. She doesn't know your face, she doesn't know your name. Her skin so thin and white, you see right through to each vein. And all she says is, when can I go home? You don't have to be so brave. The world is full of those you love but cannot save. And as it's turning one by one, day by day, it's emptying out. It's okay to cry. You don't have to try to be so strong. When all you love is gone, you don't have to be so brave. A bone white gravestone still so new, much smaller than the rest. He never heard his own name, he never nursed at your breast. Still there's bills to be paid, still there's mouths to be fed. You can weep when you're old, you can sleep when you're dead. You stand still, you sink like a stone now. You don't have to be so brave. The world is full of those you love but cannot save. And as it's turning one by one, day by day, it's emptying out. It's okay to cry. You don't have to try to be so strong. When all you love is gone, you don't have to be so brave. You don't have to be so brave. You don't have to be so brave. You can rage, shake your fist, take a walk, take a drink. You can scream, you can curse, you can lay down in the dirt. Can pray, and it's okay to cry. You don't have to try to be so strong. You don't have to be so brave. The world is full of those you love but cannot save. And as it's turning one by one, day by day, it's emptying out. It's okay to cry. You don't have to try to be so strong. You're not the only one. You don't have to be so brave.
Brave by Matt Black. Get your free month free for at Matt Black. Okay. That was a fun song. I like that.
Yeah.
Really good. And really well put together.
You say you think that's a fun song?
Yeah, I had fun with it.
I mean, it was a great song. I love that song. I wouldn't call it fun.
Well, it was kind of melancholic, but
yeah. Did you read the lyric?
I didn't. No, can't say I did.
And we've had this conversation in the past where you really focus on the music a lot more than the lyric, and the lyric is second nature, second best at best. But that's not a fun lyric. And now that I can understand listening to the music. It was great music. I love the way it was put together. It was a good collaboration. Really good.
Yeah,
good
I often have a great time just listening to it, no matter what kind of song it is. If it's a sad song, if it's a aggravated song, I often just I have fun like listening something that really gets me emotional.
I see what you mean.
One of those.
Yeah, and it was funny the way you said it, but I agree with you.
Yeah, I can say that.
You can say whatever you want. I will still make fun of you.
Bastard. Well, it's three days left with FAWM. People are already writing their goodbyes in the forums. And if you're still short with your songs, there's a skirmish coming up later today. It is 9 p.m. UK, 4 p.m. New York City, so that's Eastern Standard Time, if I'm correct, and yes. 8 a.m. Sydney. So there's an easy way to get your one more song done if you're still short. Of course, I'm done already. I've got my 14. I got my trophy. Feels good. You should too. Everyone's doing it. So go ahead, skirmish your heart out.
That's funny. So you hit 14 and stopped. You're done?
Yes. That's I want to concentrate on listening to songs now and practicing.
You had mentioned that, and I think that's pretty cool that you're able to put in that much listening time in the last week, where most everybody else is focusing on songs and trying to get as much done as possible.
Yeah.
It seems like there's a lot less listeners that last week, and then it kind of bumps up the week after and then dies off real big. So, I do. Yeah, I think that's very good of you to do.
That always happens. The place just dies March 1st. There's nobody there. So if you're hoping to get comments after FAWM, if somebody promises, I'm gonna listen to your stuff after the FAWM is over, they won't. Just that never happens. Nobody's there. So your best bet is trying to force people to listen to your music when the FAWM is still going. If you want comments, comment a lot yourself. A lot of people like to return the favor, comment your stuff if you have left a comment to that person. So you can be proactive in that sense. But then the next stop is 59 really.
Yeah, and I will say there is a small group that does stick around and comment quite a bit, but it's very few people generally, and I think the tendency of people to have good intentions after the challenge doesn't always follow through, and I think you make that point very well because it does drop off precipitously.
Yeah, I think is there a way that we could really get people to stick around?
I don't know.
There could be maybe some sort of competition.
Well, I think if you look at the number of people that participate in 5090 versus FAWM, you see it's a lot less, and I think part of that is the length of the challenge. If you look at 5090, there's a lot less people that participate to begin with, and by the second month, it's like half the people, and by the last month, it's like a quarter of the people that are really active. That doesn't mean they're not still writing songs, but it's nothing like it is at the beginning, and it's very difficult to maintain that interest, especially when you have a large group of people all over the world that are basically setting their life aside, and it's only natural to be juiced up that first week, and then by the second or third week have life come crashing down, where you have to take time to do the laundry, you have to feed the kid, some real food. You've got work things you might have put off. I mean, everything comes on your shoulders after a while.
That sounds
And
horrible.
so,
if only,
it's
I
life.
had any of that coming my way.
Well, you have no excuse.
I have absolutely no excuse, except that I was born lazy. Nothing I can do about that.
Yeah, I don't know that there's much we can do other than just if people are still active on the forums when people check in that like this weekend, then that might encourage people to.
But I don't think there are that many active people in the forums in the first place. I think it's there are how many farmers do we have now? Let me say. We got 2,200 people participating in this farm. Well, not all of them are participating, but there are 2,200 registered people. And it might be even exaggeration to say that 1% of them are active in the forums or have even visited the forums. So if you want people to stick around, the best thing to do is maybe not to write your posts in the forums. There should be some sort of built-in incentive to keep people around in the farm site.
I think there's a lot of people that read the forums that don't comment in the forums.
Yeah, me too. But
I mean, I think if you have a thread that's like the thread's like mutual comments. Like I'll comment on your album if you'll comment on mine. I haven't seen that this year yet. Stuff like that where you kind of promise to come back and listen to the people. Usually there's a who's still here thread after, and there's a fair number of people that sign up and say they still check in, but it is a very small number of people. So, but you're right. You have a good point. But
absolutely, I have. Well, hey, music. How about that music? It's FAWM after all. We got something here from someone called Bodhisvaha. I don't know how to pronounce that name. Bodhisvaha. I think that's probably a Hindi name. So everything's fine by Bodhisvaha.
And it's hard enough waking up each day when you know that something's wrong. We just draw a card and learn to play along. Don't call me out for my affecting ways or my petty troubles. Just take your turn and we can move along. Tell people it's okay. Don't ask me what I'm drinking now, but Jim tells me it tastes great. And if you tell me where to find your God, all that I can say, that's hard enough. Starting out with a box full of dirty diapers, hoping we'll be wiser, knowing a bigger box is all we get in the end. So forgive me if I make a face, but I've lied enough to know what they taste like. It doesn't matter if you think everything's fine. Oh, everything's fine. Everything's fine. Make a line. I'm here for everyone to take a piece. Got a little left besides my skin, so make me what you want to be. Who cares what you see if it feels like it's free? Maybe then you'll feel like master of making mistakes. So sorry if I seem a little off today, 'cause it's hard enough getting up each time that a clock tells you like somebody owns you. Just smile and pretend that everything's fine. Oh, everything's fine. Everything's fine. Oh.
Everything's Fine by Bodhisva. Very Ben Folds, Elton John type of song. But then again, like we talked yesterday, if I think that, it's probably nothing like those guys.
I can kind of hear that.
But then again, hey, every time somebody, it's a male vocalist, it's piano and vocals, it always comes down to Elton John, because you know.
I hate that, where that's the obvious comparison. But
you should
like
be
in
more
this case,
clever than that.
I think. Well, but in this case, I think it's actually fairly like Elton John. I can definitely hear Billy Joel a little less, but you can hear the type of keys he was playing, the way he's playing the piano, and then his melody, and it's you could hear it as something Elton John would do, one of his ballads,
Yeah, it was very bluesy type of melody, the vocals melody.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing Elton John does a lot. Hit that blue note there.
Yeah, definitely. So I could definitely hear that. I think that's an appropriate comparison. I really like that song. Elton John's not one of my favorites. Obviously, I like I've been exposed to his big radio hits, and I do like him. I like him better than Billy Joel a lot better. But I really I was kind of reading in the lyric and the liner notes on this, and I was really surprised at the inspiration for this. But it certainly makes sense. But it's another lyric that is not very happy.
Yeah, just make a song that's really sounds like a sad song, but really the lyrics are super happy. Like we talked earlier, do happy songs.
Yeah.
Sad songs are easy to do. Let's not open that can of worms.
Right.
We got something else. Like here's this thread on the forums called "Red Recording Button of Doom." Do you all ever get this anxiety when you're starting to record your part and it just doesn't go right at all?
It's not so much anxiety as it is tenseness that causes me to make about 1 million mistakes.
Yeah.
And so, like if I'm sitting here writing a song, I've got the guitar in my hand, I've got my notebook out where I'm writing down the lyric, I get it down to where I either want to get the idea down or whatever, and as soon as I hit the red recording button of doom, I don't know if I tense up and I make more mistakes, or I just notice the mistakes that I don't want to make the mistakes, so I of course make all the mistakes, or what. But it's like it's never as smooth as it was just before I hit the button.
Yeah, but Eric had a very good point. He said there's a clear solution here. I say we paint the button green. So that should take care of that.
Yeah, no.
Well, the thing it really comes down to, I think, some sort of caveman like reaction and what do you call them? Like the way human beings are like built.
Program.
Well, that's as good a word as any. But if you if you don't have that sort of reactions that you tense up when you're being threatened, you're gonna be getting eaten alive, or at least back in those days you were. So nowadays we don't have that kind of threats. So what happens is when we tell our brain like this has to work, we have to nail this thing. If we don't, it's gonna be bad, and so the brain interprets that as well, okay, that's a huge threat. I think if we don't nail this recording, we're gonna die horribly. So
Well, I see. I see what you're saying. I kind of disagree a little bit, but I do see
Yeah.
what you're saying. But I mean, it is the fight or flight instinct where you get that it's tenseness or whatever. But through martial arts and combat, the more relaxed you are, the better you do. The more tense you are, the quicker you're gonna,
absolutely, yeah.
exhaust or whatever.
No,
And
I
so
wasn't saying that at
Yeah.
all. Of course, you're gonna do it better
Right.
if you relax, and that's what you should be like
Yeah.
aspiring to.
Absolutely. And I think that when you see whether it's an athlete or a musician or whatever that can nail it in the spotlight, if they're in the first gig in front of 60,000 people, or the tennis player that's at Wimbledon for the first time and they succeed, that's what makes it even more amazing or even more, I don't know, impressive to me, is because it is under the spotlight. And I think that's what we need to figure out as recordists, all of us, and kind of what that thread's about is, being able to do that. It is hard. It is difficult. But the best people that do it have either practiced it or have got the confidence, or just don't give a crap and they do it.
Yeah, the last point
And
is a
that's-
really good one. You shouldn't give a crap. That's what I always tell to my students, no matter how old they are, that you need to allow yourself to suck. You need to allow yourself to just be really, really bad. And it doesn't matter if you don't nail the take, if you just screw up completely, it's okay. You need to be okay with that. And just before you start, just tell yourself that you can even think like, okay, this is the take that's gonna go really badly, and just be okay with it. Let it go, man.
Yeah. No, and I think that's good advice for songwriting in general, not just recording. It's a lot of people are afraid to put their stuff out there, or afraid to write a song because, well, it's not going to be any good. Well, absolutely. If you don't do it, it's going to be hard to nail it. The more you do it, the more practice you get, and that may be a bad way to get good quick. If you don't do anything else, if you're just throwing it down, whatever comes out, it's still better than not doing it. So, I think that's really, really good advice.
Well, here we got some cool electronic song by Kennel and Johnny. Wow, that's a great band name, Kennel and Johnny. This is one of those songs I almost didn't pick, even though I really like this song. Let's listen to it, and maybe you'll see why. So, Kennel and Johnny, this is Energy Part 2, 7.83 hertz.
Interesting place, this Shadowland. With its ultraviolet sun, even the shadows have shadows, and the future's already begun. Energetic sound waves, clouds all silver lined, love the way the light fades, right before it shines. way the light fades, right before it shines. Love the way the light fades, right before it shines. It shines. Love the way the light fades, right before it shines. It shines. Love the way the light fades, right before it shines.
Kennel and Johnny, Energy Part 2. Absolutely fantastic sounding track. And I'm kind of hesitant to bring this up. But here's the PSA. Okay, this track, I almost didn't pick this track up because it really hurt my ears. I'm hesitant to bring this up because you shouldn't concentrate on demo recordings during FAWM, but this really isn't about whether or not the demo sounded good. It sounded excellent. I loved all the instrumentation, all the melodies, and all the huge soundscape that happened there. But seriously, I was browsing through a few tracks that I was considering for the cast, and I was just previewing them, listening to 15 seconds of the tracks, and this one, as I listened to it, I almost got a headache. I'm not even kidding. It's like literally my ears started to hurt a lot, and my head started to hurt. So that's not a good thing. It's not even like it sounded so bad that it hurt me, but it literally hurt me. So I almost didn't pick it up. But then I thought, okay, I can mix it a little bit. I can tone down those offensive frequencies and make it a song that you'll be able to listen through. And it's not ideal because you really shouldn't master tracks like that. But so I picked it up. I threw a little bit of EQ there, and it doesn't sound as good because of it. But I couldn't listen through that song because of how those offensive frequencies really they made my ears bleed. So that's a little bit of something you should consider when you mix your tracks. Just listen through them. I don't know how they listen through their own song, because I couldn't do it with the original setting. But you should consider just trying to listen if the song is hurting your hearing, because you can hurt people with sounds. I'm a mortar guy, so when we fire mortars, we use double ear protection, because sounds can seriously hurt people. They can injure people. So just I'm not saying this as like I'm not trying to offend anyone, but that's you need to consider that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I liked. I'm glad you picked that song and played it because I wouldn't have been exposed to it otherwise, and I really did enjoy listening to it. I think you make a good point that in FAWM it's very difficult to get things perfect or even really in a really good shape when you're trying to do something, and sometimes the overall sound may suffer when you're trying to get the parts correct.
I fight with this all the time.
Yeah, and I think Candles in some of the liner notes is trying to on his bio, not on the song, was talking about trying to have an effect and do different things. So I wonder how much those frequencies and things in his songs are on purpose and how much it isn't. Yeah. It's hard to tell because it's FAWM. So you bring up a good point, but that we should be paying attention to the sound. But it is also very difficult when you're doing 14 songs in 28 days to kind of put that touch on.
Super difficult. Like I said, I fight with that all the time, and I still can't nail it. But if it's on that level, you need to do something about it. That's what I'm saying. I don't, like I said, I'm not trying to offend anybody. It was a fantastic song. I loved everything there, but the vocals in their original form, they were just they sounded really piercing.
I think any song that gives you trouble is a good song.
Right, you are. Okay, well, let's end this cast in a high note. Not that song wasn't good; it was excellent, but we still got one song here queued up. This one is by Brad Brubaker. The song called What Caitlin Never Knew. So we'll be back tomorrow, right?
Yep, I'll be here.
Fantastic. So until next time, guys, write some great songs.
If I seem like I'm on fire, it's 'cause I have seen the light. If I seem a little forward, it's 'cause I have been behind. If I seem a little vacant, it's 'cause you have blown my mind. If I seem a little lost, would you be so kind as to take me by the hand and walk me home tonight? And I might say these words if you squeeze my hand real tight. I'm in love, 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 in love with you. It's like a little religion, a mass confusion, damp with tears and perspiration, a million questions with no solution. It's love. I'm in love, 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 I'm in love with you. And your smile, it's your lips and your teeth and the space in between your eyes, the big and the brown and the bold and the white. It's your smile.